Hi, welcome to the quarterfinals of the Ohgawd Invitationals. I'm Silky Smooth, VA. I've been here before, if you recognize me, and this is my very great color caster, Asher Vok. How are you doing?
Honestly, doing really great today. I've been fairly busy here at UC Irvine now that I've moved and, settled in, done collegiate work here and there. But now back to commentate some more Valorant today. So honestly, having a great time after that Arcane series finale, though. Yeah, not really. I'm still heartbroken. I'm gonna be real with y'all. It's very
Did
upsetting.
not see it, and I am probably all the greater for not seeing it. Yeah. So this is I think the Jason Pure versus Jaro Jaro for the
Ooh,
quarterfinals. Correct me if I'm wrong. And
believe
we
so.
are We are going for, I think, let me look at the map vetoes. Um, I think we're banning bind first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Excuse me. Gotta find the right thing.
Yeah, take your time.
Yeah, we're going to Abyss first, I think. It looks like
Okay.
it. But I don't know. Is that it? I think I missed the message somewhere.
Yeah, I believe our total map binds we have four, obviously starting off. Pearl, Haven, Sunset, and Bind are just
There
completely
we go.
thrown out the window. Abyss, Ascent, and Split, yeah, they're still on the table. Bind, I don't blame Phantom 4, considering, it's one of the few maps with a teleportation device that can make flanks really nasty. Say you play Omen or maybe a little bit of Sova here and there. Yeah, it would not be fun. I guess I could say it would have put them in a bind, quite literally.
Hmm. I actually agree. It's maybe less of the Omen and the Sova, but in terms of that lurker, if they bring out a Viper, that you're gonna see that wall thrown from A main to U-Haul, and it's gonna create a lot of headaches for the defending side. Now, I do remember Vine being played a couple times in the OGK individual invitationals and also the Dragon Cup. We don't have somebody like Eris there, so we'll see which of the players are the greatest raises, to play bind. But thankfully, we're not seeing that today. A bit. I think we're starting on Abyss. Now it's a new map, but metas have started to emerge. I think in collegiate, I don't. We haven't. This is our perma ban, so I can't really speak on how good I get. The thinking goes in that regard, but I mid control is very very important, and that U position is a very interesting split of the mid position. With the catwalk and also the lower mid, it's a headache if you lose that part because it just brings up so many questions. More so because the spawn is very slow to rotate to the other side. So yeah, well, I'm interested in seeing how they play this. I'm interested in seeing what kind of agents they have. I think Chamber's not bad on that map, but nobody wants me to play Chamber in in my ranked games, so we'll
I
see.
was gonna say, people who don't want you to play Chamber must want to lose. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Because, like, when you really think about it, hold on, I can pull up my trusty Valorant agent spreadsheet here, right? When it comes to Chamber, good Sentinel overall, really solid. Trademark and Headhunter, I feel, can really go a long way, certain points on Abyss. That turn of force is no joke. Let you get, if somebody's essentially right, lets you get the right angles on that map, as wide open as some spots can really be, I mean, it's game over. So whoever's telling you don't play Chamber, yeah, they just might be mean. I'm sorry, they are dogging on you purposely and it's not fun. I
Well, it could
apologize.
just it could also just be his lack of util compared to a bunch of other agents like Cypher and Deadlock
Yeah, it's more of a
on
specialist if
on
anything.
right, yeah, and if you don't really hit those shots, all that util goes out the window. Trademark isn't really good into many things. There are many things that can block it. Just recently in the game I played before this, it was Omen smoked off my trademark and got behind our entire team. So that was
Eesh.
very very nice
Ooh.
to see, I guess. But as sort of consolation, anything kind of goes on this map, except you kind of have to run some long range info. This is kind of the most important part. I think Fade doesn't do as well as Sova, and if you run a Gecko, you're kind of losing a little bit of that, especially because the link and library positions are so powerful. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what they have cooked up. I hope that they're all ready to go, and we'll see how the agent select goes.
Yeah, of course. I will say, gosh, when it comes to Gecko, that's the one character I've been seeing way more of, especially over in Collegiate, which I don't blame people for. Still fun to watch play.
Yeah, his value, Wingman is so good now. In terms of, it's basically a better boom bot, and also in some cases a better aftershock. So now we kind of seeing this come through. Yeah, the Sova pick for Jaro Jaro, and I think no Jason Pierre. They're hovering. A Galleon is hovering Sova. You see the standard cipher, and yeah, I mean Astra there, long range smokes. It's gonna look to be somewhat of a mirror comp, except they're subbing out a Sky for a breach on the defender's side. What do you think about that?
If anything, I'd actually have to see the breach play out in this one. So when you think about it, we have Aftershock, we have Flashpoint as well. Rolling Thunder is definitely going to be a major issue going further on. Dang. You know what?
Much better.
It's unorthodox, but it might be a pretty interesting pick, I will say.
I'd say he's a pretty good at being a staple for the post
Yeah.
on Abyss. He's you want to pick that a lot. Maybe I should have highlighted Sky being the chosen flash initiator in this composition, but yeah, we're gonna see how this favors either or. Defending side, we're starting with breach, so the post plant-ish nonsense isn't going to start just yet. Yeah, we'll see how this, you know, if this more attacker sided composition falters on the defending side.
I mean, that's the thing when it comes to the attacking side comp, especially aggressive, but then on defending, right? With breach, you did mention like the post play and the shenanigans that can happen after the fact. I feel with defending, really good at disrupting a lot of leads. Say your rest of the team is getting flanked. Flashpoint and fault lines might be really good to really just stop attacking side from even trying to find any leeway whatsoever. And on the map like Abyss, just gonna have to wait and see how this plays out here.
Yeah. I think taking space mid is one of the most important parts because, you know, even if you lose the site fight, making sure that one of your defenders can get around to the other side, like to the attacker flank, that is pretty important because a lot of positions, especially the post plans on this map, are played from the kind of main positions like B main, A main, and those are easily accessible through mid. But that cipher is going to make it a world harder in order to do that. I know I've been punished. I've been punished for it less in my rank, right? In my rank up to Plat 3. But, you know, when I play Collegiate against, you know, Ascendants and Immortals, they always got mid control and it becomes extremely oppressive. Like, you only have, it just cuts off your options. So, yeah, going into this game, we'll see how that works.
Yeah. I believe we're still stuck on the loading screen here as we saw it over in Caster's chat. Might have to wait a little bit on that, but you know what? That's totally fine.
Oh, there we
go. Maybe not. I was about to say you guys are stuck with us on a casting screen. No, I cursed it.
All right. We got Maple Zebra being on the observers. Shout out to them. And a nice little, I guess, zooming flying drone camera.
It's a pretty nice view. I'm enjoying it. I really am.
Yeah, there's a few secrets in Abyss. Unfortunately, no Tacta buddies. But well, less so. But you see that? Oh, there it is.
Oh wait, there's
a pet. Yeah. Hi.
Hello.
Okay, but we see a decent A setup for Cypher. We don't want him on B to start with, I guess. Those trips. Oh, he hasn't placed all of his util down. Or. Oh, we're seeing us pause. We're seeing a pause.
Okay. It's a bit of a brief tech pause momentarily, guys.
Right. I was wondering why it's trying to suss out like if not putting down util on A had anything to do with where Cypher was playing on the defending side, but I guess that's part of the match pause.
Yeah, we have a spy cam up. I believe Trapwire just hasn't been used yet by Jaro Jaro, so I'm sitting here. Okay. Tech pause. At least one or two.
It's all good. Yeah. The site trips aren't. There's no like kill trip main, which is pretty interesting. If you're gonna put one just main, that's probably gonna be in for info. But you know the most important part is making sure that they don't get control of backsite in addition to main. Well, they're gonna have main for the post plant, but that backsite is quite literally 3 ways for the defenders. Well, it's worth 2 ways for the defenders to kind of get an angle into main, or onto site, including heaven. Like tower's not the end all be all to have control over from the defender side. So if you can make sure that they don't cross over to bridge, or you at least have something to stall them from getting into heaven or the backside position, then you're gonna profit.
Yeah, especially over. Okay, sorry. I got jump scared by the meow for 2.2 seconds. I thought that was either in my room, but no. I keep having to remind myself it's the spray. It's the spray. Totally fine. But I was about to say bridge especially just might be a cutoff or a choke point, especially considering that defending side, I mean, again, do have the breach. So fault lines and flashpoint, especially just getting flash is going to leave you in such a vulnerable position, little room to work around. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, defending, that's going to be brutal. And then attacking. I mean, I have seen the rare occasion where an attacking side breach can be just as deadly, but I believe we're still waiting through a pause here.
I mean, I did say that breach was a staple for this map because of his post-plant power, but I would also like to revisit when you said his flash and his fault line. I would actually argue that the way they're playing breach right here, that fault line isn't going to be played off of, right? Like, nobody is right there to peek off of stunned enemy teammates. Stunned enemies. They're just gonna be like slowed a little bit. Maybe you want the breach to peek off of his own util, but at that point, it's a very dangerous game to be playing. But playing this composition or the way they've set up their defense, maybe they're gonna be going for a 1-1-3 or a 1-2-2. I wouldn't have breach on the far end of things because so much of that like potential value you get from his util is just wasted if you use it to stall for nobody.
Yeah.
Maybe messes up the timing a little bit, but then again, you know, once the smokes go down on to B site, Sova has really less to do with. They just have to wait out the smoke. No amount of util and like, there's not much util that can kind of get them into a tradable or not like tradable, but swing off of that util position.
Okay, understandable. Actually, that's a little lesson I really need to apply later than my own Valorant games. Thank you for that. I gotta write that down. I believe still waiting in a pause here. Okay. It's like we mentioned earlier, someone's PC apparently crashed. So we're gonna have to wait just a little longer here, which, you know, it happens. It's Valorant, which is, yeah, not fun.
I mean, sometimes you could say it's better than CS2. You know, there's no subject to
Okay,
do with.
yeah, in this current state, I mean, it's controversial to say, but with the stuff that's going on in CS2, I mean, you're not wrong. It's
not very good. Everyone knows. It's not
brutal.
Controversial at all.
It's not controversial. It's just true. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I played CS2 and I play Valorant with an art tablet, so I don't even use mouse and keyboard. It feels fine to me, but yeah, I have ran into the occasional cheater. I can confirm it's not fun.
I mean, I'm talking more about the gunplay. If you ever played
That
CS:GO, and also not on like a peripheral that has a significant amount of delay built in, you'll feel such a difference, right? Like everything in CS2 feels a little bit more muddy, right? They added the damage prediction thing to kind of account for the delay that Subtic inherently adds, but we're at the end of the day, we're not playing CS, we're playing Valorant, and here we're gonna start with early presence towards A. We're gonna see if anyone peeks mid, and this Astra and A Galleon fight. This might be a little bit dangerous. Okay, A Galleon doesn't want to peek that with his classic against Ghost, probably not, but trying to get a little bit more info of what's happening in mid. There's his recon dart. It doesn't scan anyone. Oh, there it is.
Uh-oh. Good usage of the recon dart. Of course, like you said, didn't scan anyone. I mean, Wizard and Pierre were just out of the way for it, but still there, really just by a hair right now. And with the guy's vengeance in hand off the Ghost, I imagine, just trying to sign up the sight lines just for a brief few moments before, obviously. Gotta be a little loud with it. Maison just might have gotten spotted here.
Info trip down. They know that so many are towards the A side. That could have been an untradeable kill, but Maison doesn't hit a single shot. And it ends up on the worst end of it, down 78 health. And now here it's a mid flood coming in. A Galleon could have died to that shock dart right there with a 75 health. And it's not that much mid control. It's just that he's shut off and the defenders have to take a longer route to get to the B site. But it looks like they're getting there decently in time. Shaboom is throwing a recon bolt and scans one player towards Link. doesn't know that Maison is already there. It's gonna be a brawl. There it is. 2 players down for the count. And now the attacking side does come out on the better end for it, right? Sova and Cypher, though, very, very low, but not in a position where they could be engaged in any real capacity. There's the flashpoint coming out. Madge taking down the first one. Sova does go down, and Max Goofy can't hit a shot to save his life, but Pierre there to maintain the man advantage. Sushi trying to block off anything, and there it is. Base, a huge amount of post-plant power destroyed, and now they're trying to find the last defenders. Wizard actually gets Jar Jar off the spike, and now Sushi, blind and defeated Eternity, takes the win for the attacker's side.
Good start so far, especially on attacking side. One thing that I would like to point out, very util heavy, especially when it came to our 2 Sova players. We had a lot of recon bolts, a lot of scans, and then the firebolt that did come in a little momentarily later. I mean, not that much effect, got a couple pings of damage, but hey, that's totally fine. I will say, like we mentioned, we did see a little bit of the breach action, especially coming in off the flashpoint. Not as effective as I would have liked to hope, concerning, you know, everyone is out in the open. So I either imagine not so much of a miss input, maybe trying to trick things up a little bit here.
Ooh. Yeah, this gun buy is going to be interesting. Yeah, you see the early sheriff presence going to be sniffed out by the Trailblazer. Thinking of a repeat again. This could be interesting. Maison doesn't pay off. Now we're left back in a mad disadvantage, especially with this could just be an attacker side sweep. Ooh.
Uh-oh, Cyber Cage has been triggered. Obviously, a Galleon just given no choice but to pull back here, and with a breach in your back line. Not gonna be pretty. Everyone can cuss. Make that 1, make that 2. Pierre gets caught out. Jaboobins finds 1. Sushi finds another, and Max Goofy really shot the sheriff and the deputy in this situation. Found just 1 more, and Jar alone Cypher left here.
What a good try for that fault line for the defenders to peek off of it as well. Very well played. Glad that the breach wasn't the only one, but those classics didn't serve him too much. Now Jar Jar is lurking and trying to find any sort of opening. Not gonna find this off angle Eternity's playing. Yeah, attacker sweep. Looked a little nervous with that fault line triple or quadruple stun, but they were just so probably grateful that they had the better guns.
Of course, we see our little Tacta Buddy bats here just hanging upside down. But of course, while we are doing that, like you said, that fault line triple stun, no joke, was able to catch one, you know, obviously got traded out, and then found another, and then it was just both bar for bar, word for word, bullet for bullet, if you will, in that fight.
Yeah, I don't know if they stole the round, but it could have gone so badly. Just one piece. Then you see why Breach is played on Abyss. The long sightlines or the long spaces where that fault line actually matters. And now you see, you know, the Trailblazer coming through, going to hit one of the trips. And they understand that this is the site Cypher's playing. Maison's also there with a second shot onto Eternity. Oh, it's completely shutting down the A attack. But now there's mid. And with a Galleon, can't make it. The U position falls. Okay, 1 more mid defender, but that's still a weak position for the defender players to play. This is a little dicey. And even if they're on a man of disadvantage, they still have a lot of leeway leverage in this round. Mid is so important, and they could collapse on any extremity here.
Of course, Phantom Yearners with just the Guardian plays back and forth, but Mac Toofy with the Outlaw in hand, I imagine Maison would not be the smartest idea to peek this in any way, shape, or form. You did see what happened to your teammates, and only 3 left on the side of Laughing Coffin here. As Jaboobin's going to be the first to move in, but with the tailwind spin, Maison found another off the Guardian, and now Sushi with another. Was he trying to jump peek, and that's going to be brutal here at mid-library.
Yeah, it's one attacker with 37 HP and an outlaw with full armor for most of these defenders. Oh, what a damn good try. Max Goofy couldn't take the second.
Of course, a good trade out on that one. But my god, the amount of peaks that we saw, especially off the Guardian shots, I imagine Phantom Yearners, rather than going for the run and gun, they have been on defense, especially as util heavy as it has been, deciding, play it low, play it slow. They'll come to us, we'll get the shots. That's totally fine. Proved it before and again, and now putting themselves at 2-1 here. Not too bad.
Yeah, it's they did lose the bonus round kind of as expected, and now they have enough money to kind of buy. Max Goofy opting for the Blade Storm pop. See how this first engagement goes. He's gonna get caught by this.
Oh, no!
Doesn't hit the shot onto Jaro, and it's kind of over already. 3v5. This attacker side isn't looking quite as good as they hoped.
Gosh, I feel so bad that Blade Storm, I don't want to say came out at the worst of times, maybe wasn't the best, but we'll say just a little iffy on that one. Pretty much everyone targeting you in the lobby, and considering as loud as it was, to no surprise, he got stunned, flashed, and then pretty much promptly taken down. But for Pierre, nearly taking a headshot right from the Marshal, and Ohgawd getting out there in the nick of time, now having to resort to the drone and firebolt.
Shot.
Trying to save face.
But it's okay. Jaro is here to kind of assist, and they don't see Wizard tucked in this bookcase position. And now if they make enough noise, or Jaro suspects this off angle, Cypher v Cypher, it's Wizard to come out on top. And they understand that recon ball is there, but Maison, the late rotate, does spot Wizard at the right time, right place. They do get the plant down though, so this probably is gonna go to... they have a lot of post-plant power. Watch, look at all of this util. Stars? I don't know. Yeah, Stars right there on the spike. Pierre goes down without a peep. And now Shabubin's there to face the world. Can't do it all. He's not Atlas.
Maison, third kill of that round. Another defending side win for Phantom Yearners here, which, okay, things are starting to ramp up. Not as one-sided as I'd expected and I've seen previously, but hey, you know what? Toe for toe between these two teams, that's totally cool.
Yeah, it's gonna put it's gonna put Jason Pierre's team on a sort of half-buy hodgepodge together. I think a couple people are deciding whether to force or not, but you do see Max Goofy with the Vandal still could cause a lot of damage, especially if they're playing a defaulting style. But it looks like it's going to be heavy presence towards B first thing in the round.
And I will say, Laughing Coffin really trying to save up on expenses here in credits. I mean, considering they're on eco, not that much firepower, let alone shields. And for Phantom Yearners, can't say the same. They have all that heavy firepower, good tremors off the fault lines, and then the flash in from Madge here, despite getting pinged by the recon bolt, having to use the util, but it might have gone to waste, especially with Max Goofy coming in off the rifle shots and taking down the breach in the moment.
You gotta keep track of which things are unknown. You gotta know the unknowns, and Max Goofy just walking up danger, that was one. But Maison and Ohgawd are kind of settling the difference here, making it a 4v3 in their favor. And now Pierre and Wizard, this post fight is strong, but the retail being taken out at such the wrong time. Can Maison win this? Yes, there's 3 and a 4th. A convincing round for the defender's side. We thought that the attackers could find some kind of advantage, but that was cut short by just the raw fragging power of Maison.
And for Maison, the Scythe is kind of fitting here, considering in that last round, acting more like the Grim Reaper in as many kills as they were able to rack up. It was so unfortunate, though. Seeing the util come out, I believe that was Wizard on the Cypher, trying to put down a trap wire, and then boom, ended as quickly as they had thrown it out. But hey, next round we have time to recover. Shouldn't be an issue as Jaro puts down a trap wire, heading out of our buy phase.
Yeah, this is a pretty standard setup for Jaro. He doesn't really need to play these trips, especially because they're not kill trips. And it's with the Cypher kind of nerfs coming through. Ooh, they found it. They found both of them. And now they're a little more confident going into this Sentinel-driven sight. There it is. All the stall util down. And now Jaro is drawn into tower, away from that mid position. Let's see if they recognize this enough to kind of move towards it. But it looks like they're just hanging out. They're just chilling.
So far, we are going to have Pierre over at B here, but back at B Link and then over at A Bridge. Maison actually taking the time, maybe not to cross it just yet, is majority of Linkstock are over there attacking side, and Takes a little bit of damage here for Pierre, though. Not doing too hot in the moment. Got flashed and stunned just momentarily, having to put on a couple pot shots. And now just a bridge battle between Maison and Eternity.
But that's great. Pierre doesn't need to get a frag here. Pierre has to do is just make sure that they're distracted. But with Pierre going down, if they confirm that there's a bunch of A players there, yeah, they're gonna start thinking about this. Maison can just get a kill before he goes down, especially with that reveal on the Hunter's Fury. But now it's a 2v3. You see that presence from Pierre actually coming into effect here as they take so long. They're not able to rush all the way to support their defending teammates. And now Madge, with the world on their shoulders, can't make it against Wizard.
Man, it might have been a solo Hunter's Fury earlier, but against Bridge might have been for the best. At least you get another frag on the board. Really fine as we head into our next buy phase now. 3-3. I will say Phantom Yearners and Laughing Coffin so far. Just going back-to-back for round wins, which definitely going to be an uphill battle moving forward. But I will say, 1, 2, 3, 4 ultis ready if you are on the side of Phantom Yearners, and only 1 from Eternity headed into this one.
Yeah, they've got to try and bait all of these ults out because the defending side wants to use these to secure a round. Look at the kind of performance and how much struggle they've had to kind of do it when Maison is out of the count. If they can use it to kind of find any kind of advantage, they will. And there's a Galleon trying to find something, but Jaro, the linchpin of the site, already goes down and A's free.
I've got your trail.
Uh-oh. Just coming out, and that's not going to be fun. Got to shoot those down. Of course, 3 of them still active, not finding their intended targets just yet. It's going by a Galleon entirely. Jaboobins, though, not looking too hot over in the corner, but
Jaboobins has got this guy pants down. Another one on such low HP. The operator stops him dead in the tracks. But it's not enough. And now Madge and Maison have the world on their shoulders. They can't do it much. Oh my gosh, Max Goofy though has fallen off the map. So this is a 2v3. It's doable. If they know this. Okay, Maison trying to find something here. Can't make the first shot, and now Madge has to find this backside player. Does. It's Eternity. And now Maison and Madge. This is doable if they get some kind of pick, and Maison recognizes that. Gonna isolate the fights here. Fight against Pierre, and there it is. There it is!
Goodness!
It's too late. It's just too late. And they had no idea where the jet was. So, oh gosh. Until that death. That was a crazy engagement. Oh, unfortunate.
Absolutely
defenders.
insane. Like, if it wasn't someone falling off the map, not only did we have smokes to contend with, but then a jet just popping through. Cyber Cage be damned, and found 2 kills off the board, but still, that's going to be a round win for Laughing Coffin here, as they were still able to pop with a bomb, no defuse to be had, and then no save as well. Just couldn't make it out in time.
Yeah, that's got to be heartbreaking, but Bladestorm should be popped out, if I understand this correctly. Yep, there it is. And this doesn't look too bad of a buy if they can play these cards right. So it looks like a 2-1-2 defending side setup, and we'll see exactly where the first engagements lie.
Storm active for no.
That's one of the
Bladestorms of all time. That's unfortunate. And I want to say, you know what? If you drop it, pick it back up in the next round. Me personally, I'm crashing out and I'm airing everybody out with me. I would have issues with anyone, but for Pierre, we have to move on here. Already down by 1, Maison just gone and out of this. Ultimate, bit of a waste. That's okay. Cyber Cage popping through, and Pierre up with the views here. Some down, but with Max Goofy now planting Jaro on the other side, and plenty of them to work with here. And A may will say,
doesn't save the round though. They still get the control of site, and Noonie doesn't go down. Sorry, Max Goofy is apparently Noonie. I've seen this player before. There we go. And now the bridge position, they understand that there's 2 back site, especially with that scan. Oh, it can't be done. Pierre with 2 screamers just has to press left click when they come into his crosshair. Nicely done.
Man, with the Guardian in hand, that is one hell of a rifle. Sniper light, if you will. And of course, if you get the shots off, the aiming correct for Pierre. No exception. Found not only one, two, multiple kills here to head out of our next buy phase. And actually, going for heavy rifles and one sniper if you are on the side of defense here. And for Maison, hopefully, Sniper can make up for the ultimate of all time that did happen last round. Because I'm trying to find something nice about it. Really am, but yeah, that was a tough watch.
Well, they can burn the Blade Storm. It is for the eco
Yeah.
as well. When you have a player like that, we'll see. I think Blade Storm will come back in a pretty short time. We'll see. But it's also like they have a bunch of ultimates to burn as well. Okay, there's one kill. There's Maison finding it, but Nooney holds him like an MFer. And there goes the operator on the A side. And now Ohgawd has to support, but they can't do it. And that trip doesn't help much. 75 HP. I mean, gone in an instant. There's Max Goofy, Nooney trying to find this plant. But on the other side of the map, Sushi has taken down the lurk. So it's down to Nooney to try to find some more space, extra picks. But he can't. And Pierre goes down on the back of that as well.
Man, Jaro and 8 Galleon with good finishers, just playing it tactically. And now sitting at 5-4 here. Thankfully, we are very far out of the realm of the cursed 9-3 stat line that we do not have to support now. Might be next game, might be later. Who knows? I don't want to think about it here, but we'll say when it comes to Econ, it's really just ulti differential match. Sushi and 8 Galleon have 3 up in at the ready, so I imagine Reach ulti to really just storm in through might not be the prettiest. Max Goofy, though, still has the Blade Storm, could make up for it here.
Get out of my way.
It's not that bad of a buy. They have a good financial cushion here. And now, yeah, we'll see where the first fight takes place. There's already space taken by Maison in the A main, and Nooney has to be extra careful of this. Understand that there might be somebody there, not being a little bit more cautious. And now, okay, there's double spotted you, and that's actually okay for the defenders as Maison takes the first. But mid is being contested here. Look at Jaro and Wizard having a little duel. Armor already taken away. And it seems that everything is holding to a halt. Maison doesn't seem to have the need to keep pushing, maintain control of the A main. They've done their work.
Jabuba's just risking the fall hazard over there here at B, and then Maj sitting in backline, just making sure that there aren't any stragglers headed over to Link, and good recon Bolt trying to get that information here. Shouldn't be that much of an issue, but for Maison, we've seen this spot before where Bridge can be such a sticky situation if you're not careful enough. The Hunter's Fury has been played there. Don't have that to worry about this round. We'll say for Jabubins and Wizard. I'm going to sneak in. Same can be said for Pierre here, trying to get a sight on the B.
It's not culminating in a fight just yet, but Wizard on the off angle. Oh, sorry. Skulks up to the rest and kills them. The Link players die in quick succession, but there's more to support, and Eternity's gotten off the plant. They still do have time, but Wizard holding down the fort prevents them from getting harassed any longer. Wizard does eventually go down to Jaro, but they've served their purpose. They've done their job, and now Jabubins and Ohgawd wins that engagement. Understand there's somebody behind them, under them, and Eternity, actually comes out on top of that engagement. How did that work out?
I mean, hell, it worked out for Eternity. I will say, highlight of that round, especially, gotta call it the Cypher on Cypher violence, if you will. Jaro, and Wizard just stacking up a lot of frag potential here, especially with the kills. There was a Cyber Cage played here and there, not to that much effect. And then here comes Wizard out of nowhere. Not RKO slithering like a snake, slithering like a Cypher, if you will, against Maj and Sushi, allowed to give free reign, and just took those kills for themselves.
Oh, they've got to be careful when you're throwing util like that. But it looks like it's Nooney who's going to be needing to be careful here. On 4 health, quickly healed up, but Maison has found an excellent engagement onto Jabubins. Cyber Cages, though, kind of maintaining a little bit more info onto the A main position, but Jojo doesn't realize that Nooney has moved up so far and gives his life away. And now that's a 3v4. Mid is still in contention. all Pierre has to do is tuck. And all these attackers have to do is make sure they don't give away this tower position. Such a deep line into this defending space, and now Noonie has served his purpose. There goes 3, and Wizard having this little duel with Sushi. Spray doesn't count nearly as much as he probably hoped it did, and now Sushi has to fight 2 players backside as well. Okay, Eternity still confirms that Sushi's in the heaven position. Has a bit of smoke. Has a way to keep going. And now Sushi does find 1, but time is slow. And Pierre, all he has to do is play the util right. And
it's not gonna work.
1 shot, but Sushi comes out on top.
Oh,
if not for losing the round. So that was a damn good try by Sushi. Excellently played by the attackers to kind of stall out and filter feed them into the clutches of Jason Pierre.
Oh, my heart is just going pitter-patter after that one, because I was just sitting back thinking, wait, the defuse, it's not going to pop off in time. Just proper distraction coming through and attacking side. I kind of knew that. Percent. I will say a little earlier, especially on defending side, they were trying to hold down the fort. Eternity, especially off those Seekers, might have been the best play. I mean, sure, didn't exactly get him with the damage, but it got them the information needed to properly be able to push here and maybe add on to the distraction time.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, there's a deep line mid being driven. And there are 3 players in B Link to support this, but let's see if enough util can be baited out just to give them a hint of where they're standing. Because if I were Madge, I would be very worried about Wizard skulking up, and there it is. Power lost on the B site, not much presence left, and you see Jabubins. It looks like they are going to finish, but they don't realize, oh my gosh, the Rolling Thunder is ready to make that engagement work, and now Jaro taking Pierre down and left Jabubins alone and afraid, rightfully so, as Sushi claims a 3rd.
Just backed up into the corner, and Sushi really ramping up the kills, but now that we do have a side swap, who knows? The momentum might just change, especially in attacking side favor, formerly defending side, but now that you have a breach in that equation. All right, what do you think might happen, especially with that? I gotta ask your opinion on this.
Oh, well, the post plants are going to be much easier, that's for sure. And that they've been able to hold on to 5 rounds is pretty good if you just consider the util being spent. But obviously you have X factors like Maison definitely helping on the defense side. We want to see this fault line could be committed to getting Jabubins off of this angle. And yeah, I mean, it's just that much more powerful than a Trailblazer or, you know, the remaining guiding light.
Of course, Maison sneaking in here, especially with the majority of the team here. Jabubi and Eternity on the other side. Just a little too quiet right until things pop off. And for Eternity, might not be there forever. I can say the same for Jaro. Jaro here is Jabubins finding him off the bolt. That's not going to be pretty, and really not going to be kind of content with this bridge spot again, which we've seen time and time before. Just might get a little dangerous here.
They spotted it out, and there you go, Max Goofy. I mean, Noonie taking 2 without a sweat. And, you know, if you're Mason, you're just looking to find a exit kill, because you have to leave this round as it is.
Goodness, just Noonie saying, I really hope you're bulletproof. This pistol round is about to hurt. You're not gonna like it. And I imagine going into this next round, hopefully attacking side might be able to build the likability back up for themselves. Phantom Yearners, now with everything swapped around, bit of a change, going for the pistols, and instead for Laughing Coffin, heavy firepower, especially off the sniper. Yeah,
go force it. Maison, if you're Maison with 20 and 9 already, just go forward with the Sheriff light armor buy. Either way, you're not going to be too worried about it coming into the next round. So let's see where they take it first. And it looks like a lot of B presence. They're putting heavy attention towards mid, trying to get Wizard off of this mid cover position right here. And now Jaro has been spotted out, but does he realize that Maison has crept all the way up to this bookcase position? Doesn't spot Maison at all. Not yet. And this is going to be an easy peek, easy wall bang for Mason to recover this Bulldog and hand it probably to Jaro Jaro. I mean, yeah. And Jabubins, the other mid defender, not ready for Mason, taking all of that presence and driving a deep line into this. This force buy has worked exceedingly well. Galleon, yeah, even if you have the better gun, you're not gonna win against a classic at that range, that unpreparedness. Now, Nooney and Pierre, what can they really do? Pierre has a sheriff, but Madge has a bunch of util and a bloodthirsty Maison. And yeah, it's wraps for Pierre. Nooney has a marshal to contend with full armor. Could find one shot, maybe? No, not even. What a flawless force buy. You don't see those every day.
Genuinely.
Save, actually. Save.
Yeah, flawless save. If anything, it was laughing Coffin on the force buy, considering they wanted to go with the heavier firepower. Nooney with the sniper, not to that much effects, but Phantom Yearners managed to turn it around, net themselves a flawless, and now building up the ultis, especially Maison might have Bladestorm available next round, and actually sitting pretty 24, 9, and 6 KD on the board thus far.
Yeah, that's crazy performance. I mean, if you're holding on to 8 rounds after that, it just goes to show how good Jason Pierre's team is at playing together. But this could all fall apart coming this defense round, especially because, wait, they're not even saving this. They're upping the ante. They're calling their bluff, and now Jabubins with the sheriff makes his buy worthwhile. And now Maison, finding so much space up here, understands that there could be actually a really nasty mid-trip there to kind of coral them in, but Pierre in this forward position, not gonna even find one there across their placement, going a little bit tiny too low. And now they have free reign of B site, and it should be a convincing round from the attacker's side. Maison has his Bladestorm in full, and now all they have to do is show off a little bit. But let's see if this flank, 3-man flank, is going to pay off. There's Nooney with the sheriff. Oh, Galleon spotted. There is an awkward position on the rope, and they can't make it work. The classics not even finding a lucky shot, and Sushi just has to wait as the cavalry arrives. This is nasty. I don't want to watch this execution.
A quick 4v1 to a 4v9. That's real. I had to cover my eyes for 2.2 seconds there because I'm like, you know what? I don't want to watch this. This is brutal. They're just going to walk him down anyways, and we have to sit here and have to witness that? Not fun. Not pretty. Not very demure nor mindful. The bad hanging, you know what? Very cutesy. I will say that. Head back over to bridge for a little bit into our buy phase. Now 3 seconds left. We'll say, both teams really on a spend binge here. Shield advantage. Actually, not really shield advantage. Both heavy shields with light on some advantages. Or really aspects, I should say. Eternity creeping over back onto a site. And then here on bridge especially. In this point before. Can get a little choky. Can get dicey if you aren't careful enough. As you have the smokes coming in from the Astra. But now Eternity still finding on an Galleon.
It doesn't matter if there's no stall util, but Eternity might find themselves on the nasty fault line. Okay, most of the stopping power is deleted and taken care of. Wizard, though, on this early backside push has worked out amazingly when Maison just looks away at the wrong time and allows 3 deaths to slip through and a 4th for Jabubins.
Listen, sometimes on the Cypher, especially for Wizard, you just have to get a little magical with it. And really worked it in that round, now sitting at 9 and 7. Seems that Laughing Coffin gonna run away with this, with the momentum that they have, especially leading into our next phase. About 18 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, the defense maintaining some sort of a lead. This is quite worrying if I were Maison. 27 and 10. How much longer can this performance be kept up? But we're looking at this attacking side. The only only mid presence is really Jaro, but Maison's so aggressive and a great fault line. Reads Jabubin's positioning like a book, but Eternity ready as always. Gonna claim a 2nd off of that bind. Another, and maybe a 4th, maybe an ace, but Wizard is going to be there to support, clean things up. in convincing fashion.
Brutal, absolutely nasty. Just walked every single one of them down. And now 3 ultis on the side of defending with Wizard, Jabubins, and Eternity. The possibility, or opportunity, I should say, possibly set up a nasty 3-stack ulti lead if you're not careful enough. So I will say, Phantom moving in here, you might want to play this carefully. Pick your choices optimally as best as possible and pray you don't get caught in anything coming up.
Yeah, things are looking still okay for Jaro Jaro's team. Are they the wait? What are they called? The Yearning?
Phantom Yearners.
Phantom Yearners. Okay.
Yes. It is a cool
right.
name, to be fair here.
It is a cool name. Yeah, and you know, Wizard does play it cool with the camera, spotting Pierre in that mid position, and with presence on B, heard. Oh, Noonie can't find nothing but Maison. Okay, Maison does go down to the shorty. That is a saving grace, I suppose, but they do have control of the operator. Whether they pick it up is anyone's guess. We'll see a pretty nice post plant, especially with Madge alive and anticipating this Wizard flank. No, trying to find space mid. And now with the neural theft going up, they're getting boxed in. Could be boxed like a fish. Could be shot up like fish in a barrel if Wizard managed to pull something off there. And the scan onto Sushi does solve some of the problems. But Pierre, oh my gosh, all 3 even with the jumping shot. Make it sing and make it work so well. 7 and 11. You wouldn't expect this to be happening, but they're making this team play extremely beautiful.
Absolutely insane shots. 7-11 scoreline so far. We are so far away, thankfully, from the cursed stat line that I've seen before. But I will say in defending side, they could seriously care less. As right now, momentum still in favor. This is starting to get a little scary, a little sweaty, if you will. Galleon just going to have possession of the spike moving forward, and now having to contend with one sniper in from Noonie or Max Goofy, as I have been saying previously before, which has been a little funny. But then one bolt going out, especially off the shock, trying to get a little information here from Jabubins.
Yeah, not much given over, though. Still round at a standstill, but they do hear this drone coming up. Not much info is being delivered. Noonie taking the first shot onto Madge. Yeah, that's one of the integral parts of your post plant, and also taking space. What are you going to do without Madge? Okay, Jaro trying to fight for his life. Not trying to be wallbang just yet. Does get revealed, and it is ever clearer that there could be some more mid presence. Jaro, survives just with 24 HP. And Maison, all the better. Okay, carving a path for himself. Not even where the spike is going, and that's the call to put the spike over there. Picks up the op. This could be very advantageous.
Man, and frighteningly so, with an operator and a dream and only 33 HP left. But as we move over to Pierre, back in the Astra, Galleon with a good plan here. Wizard, though, still gets pinged by the recon bolt. No choice but to pop the cage. Now, neural theft up, active, and uploaded. So if you are on the side of this right now, location has been revealed and putting everybody in a vulnerable position.
What I'd say is that coming from the attacker side, that's a little bit, I guess, a little bit wasteful. I mean, I guess it's 4v2. You all basically already won the round, especially with Maison on the op. Pierre right there trying to concuss bridge, make it easier for himself, but Sushi already too far up to deal with.
I'd actually have to agree with you in that situation. I feel that neural theft could have been saved for a little later. Like you said, they had the round one. There really wasn't that much of a point to use it in the first place. I understand they were trying to find the last few stragglers in defending side, but, probably could have been put to better usage.
Yeah, I mean, when you're going up against 11 points already on the defense side, as an attack, you just want to make sure you can conserve as much, be as efficient as possible, just so you have anything that could turn the tide when things go bad. And already things are looking very dicey. Concuss comes through, and they don't actually follow this. Now, Eternity has found a bunch of space in A main. Oh, gonna remove Maison, and at the end of the day, that is a 3v3, but without Maison, oh, this is gonna look a little bit more dangerous for the attacking side. And now with 3 players stuck in A main, you know, if you don't see anybody mid, that should be like means for them to stay the defenders towards A site. But I don't know. They could find a lone defender here against Noonie, and there goes the Cosmic Defy to bait it out. Oh, do they fall for it? They don't! Noonie finds the fault line, escapes it. The Bladestorm is popped. They can't possibly know he's there.
No.
And Noonie takes the first one. Sushi's unaware, but Sushi is reactive and kills Noonie before any more blood has been spilled. There goes Wizard in tower. Might find a timing, but that post plant is already there. Madge is alive with a bunch of util to help this do this, and Wizard has to understand that taking A main control and preventing them from putting all this util down is instrumental, but Wizard can't get it done. So now it's all left to Pierre to fight against an Aftershock, a Concuss. Yeah, you're not getting out of that one scot-free, and that's 9-11 for the attacker side.
Man, the aftershocks to worry about, the concussive blast. It just wasn't pretty if you were just sticking on the A site. Despite that, 9-11 right now, especially for Phantom Yearners, now making the comeback, which I thought the post-plant opportunities were kind of dwindling. No, they're starting to pick up a little bit here.
Yeah. Mason's gonna pop the Bladestorm. Has to. I mean, this is a buy with the team. Just has a stinger in case something goes wrong. Yeah, pretty standard setup there. They're definitely leaning heavy towards A, this attack side, just because they've seen the more success on it, and it favors the breach kind of post plant very well. And yeah, that kind of smoke has stopped everything in its tracks. So I guess we can take a breather.
A little bit of peace and quiet. The calm before the storm, if you will, is now Noonie sticking here back on the A again. This bridge spot, which has been so tricky. Sushi looking for the smoke instead. There's a couple charges left. Still plenty on util. Totally fine is back over in mid-library. A couple pod shots going off here and there, but no action thus far in the round.
Yeah, I wonder if when that smoke goes down on A main, Mason's gonna find a timing. It's not even a timing, it's a straight up swing into Noonie and taking down that A defender right there. That's gonna let the tower push commence. And now they've got so much space into the kind of the CT line. Wizard has so much to deal with. That smoke, oh wait, it helps, but also hurts the attacking side. Mason is so low. Okay. This is very doable for the retake, if they can clear out Maison, but Pure may have forgotten where Maison lies, and now, with all this, they're sitting ducks to Maison's Flurk, and there it is! They've somehow managed to, evade their information completely. I don't know how that happened.
You know, me neither, but if the Bladestorm works, it works. Some beautiful tactics coming into it from Maison. Beautiful usage of that with plenty of finesse at that. Now one ulti up coming in from A Galleon as well as Pierre, so I imagine Hunter's Fury could come into play. Maybe save it for a little later depending on the situation, but now 10-11 somehow. Yearners decided to equalize this for themselves.
Yeah, we want to point, to Maison's stellar performance, right? 32-13. But that stellar performance is really allowing Madge and the rest of the team to get into the post-plant situations. And, even if Maison goes down or something like that, oh, okay, have they found them out? Yeah, Max Noonie has to get out. But as I was saying, get them into the positions, sacrifice yourself, take a few along the way, and you'll be better for it. It's extremely hard to kind of push into the main positions for the defenders comp, and you see, ooh, well, that could be a problem.
Uh-oh. Okay, now we have to play around this a little more carefully than need be, especially for Pierre. Smoke in through door, but now for B tower. Everyone just lining up, trapwire there, obviously, but for eternity. Imagine just trying to get the sight lines. No information just yet. If you're on the side, especially over here at mid-bed. I don't like how quiet this is. I'm scared.
This is very not good. They know that
No.
there's a lot of presence here. That fault line doesn't hit anybody, and Maj is too focused on throwing util to focus on Noonie, but Sushi picks it up on the end of that, and it's a 2v3. Neural Theft actually comes out again, but Wizard is so ready to deal with Jaro. It doesn't matter if they have information on where he is. Sushi has bigger things to worry about and bigger things to take care of. They will. Sushi finds 2 for the 3rd, and now Eternity walking up. Can Sushi realize that there's somebody like this? Eternity does spot this. Flash goes out, full blind.
No.
Sushi, oh my gosh. A damn good try, but Eternity helps to pick up the match point.
Gosh, and Sushi had sliced and diced so many people earlier, set the KD at 21-13, but now defending side. Essentially put themselves in prime positioning for match point.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's beautiful to see how like everyone just playing to their peak.
Heading to our next phase. Now I imagine if you are in the side of Phantom Yearners, don't want to drop this. Unless you want to make an insane comeback in the next game. It is technically a first to 2 here, best of 3 I should say. Now we have the breach coming through. Good dash out of her for Maison. Oh no!
They've got to worry a lot about Noonie. Oh my gosh, and a shutdown. Noonie played back, and it's all over. 30-10 in a blink of an eye. Oh wow, Noonie dodging the Rolling Thunder. That was crazy. They didn't account for that at all.
That was such a fast crumbling that me personally just having to watch that. As brutal as it was, I was sitting here thinking, okay, maybe a little bit of gas left in the tank for Phantom Yearners, but that just wasn't the case.
Welcome back to the quarterfinals of the Ohgawd Invitationals, and this time we're going to Ascent. What a banger map from the first map, Abyss. Despite I think it was Maison's best efforts, they were not able to close out the attack side, and defenders. Pierre's team was able to pick up a convincing 13-10, especially with that last screamer of a round with Noonie going on a tear. Despite the Rolling Thunder being brought out, we did not expect it to end that fast. I wasn't ready for it, but that was crazy, and I'm glad we saw it. This time going on to Ascent, we're looking at probably much of a mirror composition, you know, the standard Jet, KO, Sova, Killjoy, and then, you know, Omen. But, you know, Omen's one ways are nerfed, and we were playing on the latest patch, so we might actually see more Astra, especially with the 5 stars being returned to her. Yeah, what do you think? What do you think we're going to see?
If anything, I really want to see this play out into, like, you know, not just like a straight 2-0 for our first games, maybe a 1-1, considering that both Phantom Yearners and Laughing Coffins have been going back and forth, back at it. It's just been on that equal ground, equal footing, like you mentioned about the last game being Abyss. That was first map 13-10. So obviously Phantom Yearners did not let that one go. They tried not to let that one go. And then last round didn't really work out in their favor. I'm hoping this spells differently moving forward.
Yeah, well, let's go into Agent Select then, because we want to see what Ascent has to hold and how, you know, Maison's going to pop off or anything, or if they're going to lose steam. You know, if that 10-13 was hard fought, it wasn't a blowout by any means. And yeah, you see standard setup. Oh, except Wizard and Jaro gonna opt for the Cypher instead. This is interesting. Sushi looking for a Phoenix pick. You know, Phoenix has been buffed significantly, much better, and his wall is a lot more useful. So we might see this actually be picked over the KO. I have no idea. I wouldn't personally, but you know, the meta might have changed a bit.
I mean, true, sometimes you either stick to the meta, other times you just might have to go off meta, so off the, like, road given to you that, hell, it might just work. With the Phoenix, though, that's a definite surefire lock. Both of these team comps that I'm looking at right now, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, would this fly in VCT? Probably not. Does it work here? Absolutely.
Oh, anything flies in
Anything
VCT
fly.
if you're paper Rex, right? But I think the Phoenix pick is it's decent gamble. I mean, even if they did lose the last map, they still have a way to kind of bring this out and shake things up a little bit. They might not expect all this new fangled raw I don't know what is it called? Snowball power. Yeah, snowball power that Phoenix has, even more so, I would argue, than his last iteration. Because of that curveball refresh after taking two, that's still but like most of his utility is already back, and that flash is so hard to dodge. I think it's the quickest flash in the game.
Genuinely might be if I remember correctly. I mean, at one point or another, I want to shamefully admit I used to play Phoenix, instead I moved on to KL, a little bit of Harbor, unfortunately.
Hmm.
But yeah, that flash, as fast as it was, you just barely saw it coming and really just couldn't get out of the way, even if you managed to see. I mean, yeah, could have a factor in
Yeah.
this one, but as we move forward into our bye phase, getting things started, should be an exciting
Yeah.
game again, game two.
Yeah, so when I see them kind of position themselves all the way towards A, oh, well, I was preparing something like very lengthy to say about how the Phoenix would be utilized in taking the site, but we'll get to that when they do go for an A main push. But this looks like positioning towards B, um, with a jet on the lurk. So they're not entirely too worried about the dive util not being on put onto the attacking side on B. And when Phoenix casts his wall, all you have to do is just run lane. There's not much use for that dash anyway. So we'll see how this plays out. Everything's very quiet so far. Maison testing the waters a little bit, but they are going to find themselves against Pierre picking up the jet now, and Maison already taking a great deal of damage there. 55 HP just gone. Doesn't want anything to do with that.
Now, with Eternity rotating over in mid market right now, seeing to be set for Sushi in B main, at least trying to maybe get a couple of sneaky pot shots, even a Phoenix lineup, but that is a trap wire in the corner, able to avoid that, but that's going to be the Omen smoke, and then maybe a quick little flash of Disorient. Good entry coming into it from Sushi. Be careful with it. Back over to the boathouse. Now majority of these shots are managing to find their intended targets. Jaro with the plan, however, and Eternity trying to make good usage, especially over at the door of the smokes, but suppression in from Maison does not matter, as still able to find Eternity, and off the bolt finds another for Nooney, able to come in and clean up shop here against Maison.
My camera is destroyed.
Yeah, and now with everything kind of at a standstill, it's going to have to go to these lane players. Madge on the opposite side of this smoke. Oh, the gun peeks out. Nooney does manage to get the burst in the proper place, but Nooney's too fast for the flash as well, and Sushi goes down on the opposite side of the new box.
All right, Nooney on the KO, and scared me a little bit. I thought that defusal wouldn't go out in time, but thankfully it does. And so far, went up on the board for defending side here, heading to our next buy phase.
Yeah, I think that they kind of want to force up here. They should be comfortable with doing so. They did get well, I would say so. Yeah, Nooney is doing wonders on that KO. Should be a lot more confident in what he can do. And now Pure on the Guardian with Guardian light armor. This is going to be pretty powerful, much more than we could expect a losing well, sorry. I thought they lost. My bad. Go ahead.
It's fine. It's fine. Did y'all hear that? I didn't hear anything. Well, from alternate universe?
No, we
possibly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
we didn't hear
not
anything.
experienced here.
We are going to
not-
hear the Phoenix Flash, though, coming through, and that's going to be Jabubin's just in the corner, still gets taken down by Jaro, and a good firewall. Sushi actually give it a little bit of healing off of that, but with the
Oh my
bucky
gosh.
shots, Nooney still gets taken down, finds one off the trade before Pierre finally popping in to go against Jaro here, winning that duel, and now for Sushi. Slicing and dicing through a lot of these players here before Wizard able to cut that down before it can even start with momentum.
Hey, Galleon, what can you do with 26 HP against
And
a
a dream.
paranoia? Yeah, nothing. That turned into a nightmare for sure. I'll see myself out. But yeah, 2-0, pretty convincing win. Did lose 3 guns, so that going into this bonus, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, a little more constrained. Not going to be so solid of a buy. You see people moving towards the sheriffs, trying to maintain above that crucial money mark for their own util sake for next round. But yeah, we should see like. Oh wait, 8 galleon and Madge, and a few are actually under the 125. Are actually 125 HP. So this could end disastrously for the attacking side, depending on how they do. We'll see right now.
Oh, we do have to run it back active, especially coming into it for Sushi. So just wanted to get in with the frags, but Pierre, even taking down Sushi, still alive. So you have a Phoenix to worry about in the equation still as Jabuba's trying to bash through the door. Over at A window, Spike has been planted, and Maison now having to contend against Wizard up in the corner has been sighted and just might have to make a quick escape, but surrounded on both sides here. Might not be as pretty, just dancing in between a Wizard and a hard placer in this situation. A KO with an ability charge. Jabubans was still able to secure the kill before the Firebolt able to pop out here, getting much needed information as Maison and Jabubans clearing the way, but it is going to be Maison with 4th kill of the round, putting one up on the board on the attacking side.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see. 2 players left after that. It's that shaky buy, especially because you credit to Maison for getting the 4K later in the round, but they did really let Jabubin slip back into tree, basically unscathed, and pick up I think more than at least a couple kills, just for being let alive. So the 125 HP situation is going to still be into play. I would say that the regen shields do favor a more 1x1x1 engagement style, just because you don't. If you would die to that anyway, if you would die in the lurks or the 1x1s, you would have died to that in full armor anyway. So now Pierre taking down Maison. Yeah, it's not looking that great already.
Of course, ulti's ready on both sides here from Maison. Taken down to no Blade Storm just active yet. Over at A tree though, bulk of the team just cornered up like this.
Lord.
It wasn't going to be pretty in the first place, as now we have A galleon just suppressed and pings of information. Crossed the board. Eternity though, in the back, didn't even see them until it was too late, and managing to clean up for a bulk of the kills.
Yeah.
My God, 3-1 stat line so far.
I think teams or a lot of people haven't figured out how to play the regen shields. If you're going for 125 health and you're not playing the defaulty style of singular engagements, and you're running into like multiple players together, it's essentially like you've thrown away 250 credits and just bought a light shield. Like that is what it is. So I don't see their economic situation improving that much. If this continues to happen and they don't realize what is happening.
Now for Pierre, sitting pretty sheriff in hand, as that's 1 kill. Almost got another, actually gets another Jabubans. I might have spoken too soon here. Yeah. Sushi having no choice but the backup, but Maison with the Blade Storm, double kill on the board. Weirdly with finesse as Jabubans and Eternity go down over at Mid Pizza. And now trying to sneak in, maybe find another against Nooney if they're not careful. The KO's in the back. I don't want to shout through the screen and have to yank you, but the KO is in your back line. Maison doesn't care though. Still caught Nooney off rip, and that's so unfortunate. And now for Wizard having to contend with this 6 HP and a dream. With just a lone Cypher. Maison still pushing forward as aggressively as they're getting, and throws out the Cyber Cage to deter against the Blade Storm. Sushi, though, sitting up bottom. And Jaro is the one to clean things up. That got a little scary there for Maison.
Yeah, well, even with the Phantom's buff, it still, I think, retains the same time to kill up close. That could have screwed, that definitely screwed Nooney over. Unfortunate. We don't like to see it, but at the end of the day, we have to keep those into, like, you just have to accept those rounds and move on. And now you see that they're actually forcing up. Pierre getting the op, putting it on the jet. Hopefully that can work out really well. Trying to stop any kind of push where it starts. There's Eternity actually going over. Wait a second. Gets mashed. unawares, and they don't actually know where Eternity is. Could be inside the smoke, but that second smoke definitely helped. Maison doesn't even check it.
Eternity
That should have
was
been a
just
dead giveaway.
sitting right there menacingly before they're finally snuffed out. This is the most Omen thing I have done an Omen player do in so long. But right from across the way, it is Nooney and Pierre to finally figure things out. Now set the stat line at 4-2 here on defending side. That has to be just Omen things. That's all I have to describe about that one, especially going through smoke. Didn't even see them. That's so unfortunate.
Getting the second kill. That's like your mental has to be like instantly crushed. Like there's no way that you're coming back after that, after letting 2 players slip by. Okay, that, 4-2. I am expecting this gap to widen, especially if Eternity keeps delivering bangers like those.
Oh, come on. Got a little scary there. Gotta dial it in. Operator involved. Nooney round the corner, though, over on A site. A lot of good smokes to be involved, especially off the Omen play. So I know Madge is expecting some play to possibly pop through here. Wouldn't be surprised. Is maybe even going in for the knife for a quick little suppression. Sushi, rest of the team are very aware, getting in that information. A recon bolt is taken down, but suppressed still. It's Nooney just on their own and having to throw out the charge and the flash to just make sure equalize things. A lot of heavy sniper rifle play. So going through A site is just a trap.
Maison's got the op in wine. If Nooney wants to be a little bit adventurous, this could end really, really badly. But it looks like Nooney's going to bide his time and just wait on the opposite end of the smoke. That Phoenix, though, the Phoenix flash coming through, that could be disastrous. Especially with Run It Back being online. There it goes. It gets popped and it gets immediately shut down. But that's okay. It's still for 4v4. And now as everything starts to continue up. Oh, Maison gonna claim the op tool. But Jebu wins with the Hunter's Fury, able to find at least a little bit more damage to soften this, retake up. Oh! Again, from behind, that's 3 times Eternity! You have to be kidding me! And another
One more!
Sushi keeps
One
playing!
more!
Yes! Go for him! And
Nice!
that's a 5-2, holy...
Okay, this game is getting more intense than I would initially like it to be. We're just starting off. It's 5-2 so far. And on defending side, I think Coffin, they're up by 1 here, but still managing to build the momentum that is much needed. Okay, you know what? Can we talk about this earlier of what happened when we saw the Phoenix run it right that came into play from Sushi? And then what happened? Got 1 kill. And then Nooney gets popped by the nastiest Maison shot I have seen in a very long time here.
You gotta just again, like Eternity fighting his way behind. You just have to accept it and move on if you're the attacking side. Yeah, Nooney fighting even just 1 there. That is great. And now there's so much info. Spotted so many players towards mid. They don't actually have a lot of space functionally. And now Wizard being unspotted as well, unrevealed. Oh, Eternity, you better get a move on or else Wizard is in trouble.
Oh, the cyber cage. Wizard's just trapped in the corner. Really, there was no way out. And now all you need is 1 body. The neural theft just uploaded, giving positions away here. Cyber cage to cut off any possible movement here at A site. Doesn't matter though for Pierre though. Galley up in the front. Now Eternity in the back. I imagine more Omen plays upcoming. Wouldn't be surprised with Matt, Jarl, Jaboon, Eternity, and everybody else falling down. Right 6 feet into the ground, but for Pierre, does not matter. Still gets the defuse.
Yeah, Pierre finding his stride on the jet. Like, last map I thought he was a dedicated smokes player, but putting the op on this guy and then putting the KO into I don't know, like the KO and the Omen activating, everything's going right. And we have to try something else. Those regen shields again being played in the very brawly, like big execute style, I don't think they should be if you're investing the extra 250 credits. Right, and now they're trying this again. Massive mid pressure together at once. And if they want to match this, oh my gosh, Eternity, you is trying to cook up something
Oh,
again.
don't you dare.
Playing
Don't you
into it.
dare.
They have no idea. They have no idea. And if they start walking up into this, there's surely no way they can
No!
predict it. Eternity, you've got to be. They're playing out of their mind.
Forget saying you gotta be quicker than that. Eternity with a massive setup, just allowing the rest of their team to get in with a lot of these picks, top fragging on the board. And for Pierre, another tactical sniping shot right from across screen. You really can't make this up. You genuinely can't at 7-2. Like, what is going on?
They have util for this. Galleon seems like the util usage seems to be so absent. I mean, not like dogging on them as a player, but if you are Sova and you know that there's an Omen who loves to play like that behind smokes and everything, every smoke should be treated like a complete kill zone. So you gotta use your drones for that stuff, especially if you're committing so many players to a certain extremity. And now Wizard's committing himself over to the extremity, and we'll see how it goes. Ooh, picks up a nice one on Madge.
Almost trying to get another one onto Galleon, but responding in turn off the SMG shots, but Jabubins goes
Ooh.
down. Sushi's been really getting clean with it. And now from Mizon, might have the potential to get even cleaner with the Blade Storm up and active, still trying to find someone to snipe off the knives. And now Nooney still gets tagged by the recon bolt, plenty of information given, and against Jaro taking big advantage of it. No more KO to be found in this round, but now it's Cyber Cage versus Smokes, Omen versus Cypher action. Starting to get chilly. It's starting to get cold. I don't like this setup. I swear if you even try. Eternity. Potential, unfortunately for them. Mizon there to snuff it out before it can even start back up.
Yeah, you're not gonna get it a fourth time, I guess. And Maison, yeah, easy kill. Just cleans it up. 7-3. A thrifty that finally it works in their favor, putting a lot of bodies towards one extremity. But you know, it hasn't worked so many times that maybe the defense wants to consider their like changing up their strategy. Eternity, that could have very well worked in their favor with the smoke play, and you start to see the attacking side respecting it a little bit more. Right, they backed off from the smoke as soon as it was thrown. They understood that there probably is somebody on the other side of it. Fortunate that they did, you know, get it off. And now it's Sushi moving through very fast, gets caught in that, so the right back might be stopped, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, the spot works, and Galleon takes down Wizard off the wall hack. Oh my gosh.
Run it back, just immediately poured Sushi back over into tunnel, but was still able to get a kill off of that. And now for Nooney. In the corner, Maison though, and Pierre now getting a bulk of the action against Sushi. So Phoenix just gone down and out. Pierre having to use Tailwind to just dash a little further into the action.
Ooh.
We head over here. Okay, operator in hand. Imagine Jar, if they're not careful enough, not only do they have the flash to contend with, but Utils abound. Pierre with the Blade Storm. Match with 2, match with 3 actually against Pierre, Jabubins, and Nooney.
You know,
Last round
it wasn't for a lack of trying. I say that Eternity would have been able to turn the turn the round around, and you know, like if the weird stuff, you know, if you're trying this very smart play, you know, doesn't work out and it keeps falling to just dumb, like unfortunate things occurring, you know, it's. You just gotta pack it up and maybe play a little bit more traditionally. Like Sushi getting the kill out of the animation, I would have never expected. So Eternity, you know, stay in there, hang in there, and stay strong.
Exactly. You just have to stay strong and true. Keep it careful. Keep it cool. Honestly, to the best of your abilities. And now for Nooney over back at Tree. Plug in hand off the shotgun. Imagine just not really lining up for shots here, but just waiting for prime opportunity to move a little further. Totally fine. We have the time. Well, not as much. I mean, it is 1 minute and 5 seconds left on this clock to plant. Now for Mizon. The tripwire is there. Just trying to dial it up just a little bit. As quiet as it is, I hate saying the word considering commentator's curse can come into play heavily. Almost just footsies. Now the suppression going out. Galleon actually almost getting caught in that. Thankfully avoids most of the bulk.
Ooh. Wait a second.
Nudie.
Nudie's got a judge.
Nudie.
Got a judge and,
Nudie.
and cat and tree, and they all fall down. It's just 2. Okay, that's pretty good value. And now a Galleon has to contend with Jabubin, so that extremity is still held on to. And Peter sees the barrel of the gun.
Oh.
What the heck?
Oh
They
my
commit to it.
God!
And Pierre isn't harassed until Sushi actually gets a kill. Okay, 1v3. Is there more opportunity to kind of win this out?
Oh no.
Yeah, no, probably not. Probably not.
Yeah. Might want to avoid that. That's a Hunter's Fury and against a solo Phoenix. This might not end well. Wizard, though, gets pinged off top, but again, it is Eternity with the Omen hijinks just to sneak in behind. We didn't even see on the screen that Eternity was just moving a little further forward than need be, but still, it was secure the kill. Now at 8 and 4. Seems we are seeing a little bit of comeback potential if you're on defending side. Still haven't swapped yet, though.
Yeah. Well, it's just so like for Sushi that had to be a little bit terrifying. You know, with that Hunter's Fury coming through, I think if that didn't happen, they could have won the round easily. Especially because of Phoenix snowball potential. Isolating the fights and being so good at dueling, yeah, it just wasn't able to put the win condition in their section of the table. But there it is. Yeah, start Maison out here, and first engagements they don't get punished. Maison doesn't get shot down yet.
Oh.
Okay.
Still 45 HP. Maison still allowed to be left alive, but now 23 HP and a dream. Nabbed not only 1, but 2 kills. Like you said, no punish, which I'm sitting here like, okay, we're not able to tag Maison here. I understand if they're a little too fast, but do something, just anything. He's have a Jet Menace and then another Omen to worry about. Over in mid, even trying to get in with the spy cam dart might be a little too far. Maybe the angling just isn't right for Jaro to commit on. Noonie moving forward though.
Oh
and
my
Jaro
gosh, the re-hit! It doesn't matter! Wait, Jaro doesn't even turn back? Only until the knife comes out, they realize that there's another hit on A, and now Maison is left with against a team that's ready, but he's readier! 2 clean headshots onto Wizard, and Jabubins takes the first round for the defenders.
Starting to look good on defending side and for Phantom Yearners. Now starting to possibly mount comeback potential. That puts them at 8 and 5 for now. Of course, once again, out of our cursed stat line 9 and 3, which thankfully has yet to rear its ugly head. And now for Laughing Coffin. I mean, they're just really a hair away from being able to shut this down at 2-0. But hey, we might be seeing the 1-1 potential, maybe for a third map.
I think so. I think the defending side, well, they haven't got all that info with the KO, but how much more info does the KO add to playing Cypher? If that spy cam doesn't kind of get shot, so you know, Jaro's team might still not be in the worst of positions, even being down 3 rounds. Yeah, and this is certainly going to sweeten up the deal as Galleon picks up an amazing wallbang. Even not using his recon bolt. That was just pure knowledge. He knows.
Eternity back to the Omen hijinks once more. Maison though in with the Marshall. Good skin at that one. Dash is active and Jabubin's just trying to climb on top. One shot at least with the pistol in hand. Now for Sushi. That Bucky could be just as dangerous. All bark and all bite. No bulldog to be involved, but for Eternity back at it again. Shadow travel for the smoke. Pour through. Okay, I'm seeing the setup. We're getting a little sneakier with it. Playing low and slow this time around rather than the fast-paced few rounds that we've had previously.
And now Sushi finding Jabubins without taking a single point of damage. That Bucky is still in play, and if Matt Mooney wants to try his luck, there he goes. Pays off handsomely. Eternity has to find something. Ooh, a great off angle to be playing right outside of that Cypher trip. Oh my gosh, Jaro, the near sight forced Eternity into his field of view, I suppose, and he was able to find that kill. And now, yeah, it kind of looks over for the attacking side. A Galleon picking up another on a Wizard. No, not even a consolation prize for Nooney.
Oh man, and so far, looking at the stats here, so far, attacking side hasn't really put themselves up in the rounds here. It's just mostly been Phantom Yearners that have managed, at this point, mount a comeback. 8 and 6 so far. They have a chance to equalize it. Maybe even breeze right past Laughing Coffins if not careful enough.
Yeah, it's tough to be on the side of, I guess, Jason Pierre's team. If you're starting to see the defenders wise up to whatever you're doing. But Eternity, surely they have more things in their pocket. I mean, you see the smokes, that smoke cat was respected by Eternity. Thought really well, like that somebody could have crossed, you know, as an Omen main, you have to kind of consider those possibilities. And now Sushi, you know, can't do much with the Bucky. Can't possibly do more, right?
Whoa!
Surely you don't do this.
Double flash in the hot
Okay,
hands.
there it is.
Oh, that util. I understand that Sushi was really trying to save himself, so maybe he baited a little bit of action, but for Wizard and a Galleon, trade for trade, Cypher gone, Omen gone, Maison is still alive before Pierre is there with the jet-on-jet violence against Maison, and now a Galleon with plenty of HP left in the tank, still having to contend against 3 others, especially some of Laughing Coffin's biggest heavy hitters. We have Nooney to worry about. We have Pierre, and Jabubin still has Hunter's Fury. Not the best thing to waste it on a solo, so I imagine saving it for a little later, but Pierre, some information
They know
here
where he
possibly
is.
know. Yeah, they know. We obviously know.
Yeah, and Pierre has an amazing off angle. This can only go one of two ways.
This
You know, he
has
finds
to be a
Nooney.
save, right?
Oh, well, he's different,
wait.
apparently. Hey, Galleon, wait, they lost the... They gave up the position.
What?
Wait, it's suddenly a 1v1. Wait, this could
Don't
be
risk it.
doable, but...
Ah.
Okay. Hey, you know, taking down 2, that's at least pretty good. You know, I'd be still happy if I was a
I
Galleon.
mean, true. We have, well, let's think about it, right? A Galleon was in a 1v3 situation. Things were looking a little hopeless, which at the end kind of got that way. They were still able to get a couple kills. Let's think about it. Against Nooney, got him with the pot shots. Not too bad. Against Pierre, was still able to hit with the bolt. I mean, shockingly enough, pun intended, that worked too. But then against one more, did not work out. Still good, even great effort. Still though, at 9 and 6, so things are getting a little too close for comfort.
Okay, so Sushi still has this Molly lineup. This is gonna be not gonna be used here. Ready for the duel. Hot hands expended. Yeah, just trying to stall any sort of push. It should be a signal that they are gathering up here. I mean, with 3 players in deep wine, this is pretty much looking like a commit. But I don't know if Eternity can gather something. Remember, there's 1 minute left in the round, so if Eternity finds a pick, you know, they could very well use this to rotate and get out of a sticky situation. Oh my gosh, that little drop. I hate that little step too. Jaro gonna be shut down by Eternity. Nothing more to come out, and it looks pretty good. But ooh, Match has something to say about it.
Exactly. Now Galleon rotating a little further inward. Now back over at Guardian. Match right there.
Oh,
For
no
the
way.
lineups though, it's Pierre in the
No
back,
way.
and still could have gotten a second A Galleon, just shutting those dreams down, and now having to opt in for the information off the recon bolt. Doesn't spot Nooney in time. Quick little dragon punch off the end of that one from that finisher. Now 10 and 6. It's turning into a very major gap uphill battle, even more so for Phantom Yearners.
I want to just point out how much Eternity has influenced the rounds. Lurking or pushing, taking deep lines on a defense, that's a bonus, right? We wouldn't expect somebody to be that adventurous, but if they're comfortable enough to do that, then they should be definitely comfortable in lurking for attack your side. And you see a lot of stall, but now Maj is going to be shut down. I'll finish my thought later, but it looks like a lot of action is ramping up.
And for Hunter's Fury, active, still fine. Some on the damage, but Pierre in with the finisher as well. Bladestorm up 2. And now against Wizard. That's one down. No more Cypher play except for the one that we already have to deal with on the side of Phantom Yearners. Being Jaro. And even then, not much you can do. Maison still has Bladestorm available. Still, going into it, we do have suppression. And against the KO, I imagine they already know they're there pushing in for the information. That flash is definitely going to expose Sushi. And the rest of the team, they flash themselves. What are we doing? Eternity took perfect advantage of it. And an unfortunate self-flashing. It seems that the majority of Phantom Yearners just go down here. And with the smokes, Bladestorm active, Maison trying to find something, anything to cling on to. And Eternity wraps it up in a tight, pretty pink bow to now put the team at 11-6.
Yeah, I was gonna finish. If you're Eternity, then attack side is now your playground. You see the defense, even just Eternity not being in a position to take an immediate fight market. Jaro has to stall and be very, very careful mid, and just with the possibility of not knowing where Eternity is. It's crazy how much respect that's garnered from the defense side. Maybe not respect, but imprisonment.
Now, putting out the firebolt. Pierre able to get Maison just off rip early in, and another flash make that 2 more. Still throughout that, Jabubins does not matter. Phoenix be damned, and is still able to snuff out Sushi just as easily. Jaro now forced to run away here as we go for a possible plant, but Match stops it, stops another, nearly stops the third, but Jaro in with the assist against Eternity. Now, bullet for bullet, bar for bar, if you will, from across the map even. Maj is able to net a third kill here now. Put the team at 11-7 headed into our next bye phase.
Yeah. No, Eternity has to stay on the lurk or to stay on the opposite extremity. I think that they could have been scared, okay, let's do a full push because this time they surely expect Eternity to be there. But that's good. You want Eternity to draw as much attention as possible. And I think them pushing with the main group was not the play. So we'll see how they exactly intend to do this. It looks like a default towards B. And that's what they're good at.
All right, now match. Quiet reset here as we figure things out. They have trap wire off in the corner. They're almost smoke in the back, but now the pot shot's really flying out. Pierre not looking too hot on health here. Now we have one POV swap over. Nice so far from Pierre, but still has to get traded out by Maison here. That's Maison getting another one before Jabubin snipes in with a quick little ding headshot. From Maison goes down. Jaro still active on the Cypher. The Jabubins and Sushi. For pick back and forth. Just a 2v2 situation that we now have to worry about with Jabubins rotating forward, finding their way back over to Wizard. Now sitting over on B site. It might get scary considering we have not only an Omen to worry about with teleports, the shadows within, and then the Phoenix off. Haven't been the best. Still getting the much needed information off the recon bolt. So I imagine Sushi now having to pop the run it back. Just get the information, but maybe go in for the flash. Not as effective as intended. Can't even go for the defuse. They didn't clear it. And they're just sitting there.
And it's Maj left alone. This engagement could go south real fast. What? They pull it back together regardless. 11-8, and now the Econ's looking even worse for the attacking side.
A well-timed earlier run it back to guarantee that if I have one chance, I have another, especially coming into it from Sushi, but in a shock turnaround. I was almost certain the Eternity.
Yeah.
Jaboobans maybe have had that in the bag, but no, defending side. Still proving that they're still alive going into this next round, into the game, really. And now the chances of a 1-to-1 map 3 are looking
Yeah.
shockingly possible here.
Yeah, if you're Eternity and, lurking up the A side, there hasn't been information to kind of warrant them being, the defenders being called away from A site. So you're going to have to go with basically what is a normal, like, a 1v1 or, like, long duel where everyone knows where each other is. It's just, like, not the most optimal place to play. But now Maison, taking down Pierre, just quickens their demise. With 4 players left, I don't think they can do much. Eternity losing that armor already. They know where the Omen is. It's not enough, though, to get them off of A site.
And genuinely, is it enough? I
Maybe
mean,
Jaboobans does.
Galleon goes down, though. Same can be said for Wizard right now. So now, just mostly trades, especially on a lot of these kills. Nooney in the corner with a dash forward.
Oh.
You're kidding. Shotgun from above. Just judge, jury, and executioner in one of the nastiest trick shots I think I've seen in Valorant in a hot minute. And now Eternity back on top, going in for the smokes. And now trying to find prime opportunity for at least one good setup. Because on attacking side, it is a 1v3 for a dream. And Eternity through the
they're playing for
wall.
the ace.
Oh yeah.
They're giving them
Jojo's
this ace.
They're giving it to him pretty much. And
Yeah.
Maison secures the ace now at 11-9.
Yeah, I mean, you can if you're on the side of the Phantom Yearners, you've got to be very, very happy with the way things are going. You've got a big, big economic windfall in the last 2 rounds, and yeah, coming up against this bye, I think they've started to figure out how Eternity plays. And when that happens, maybe Eternity is a little bit stressed and starts to do things that, turn into autopiloting. And we'll see how this plays out. Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Misbolt. They have
Actually, hold
0
on.
info.
Cheeky little
They
corner
have
setup.
info now.
Yeah, they have some info. Imagine for a Galleon, it worked out a little too well, but for Jaboobans can say the same here against Jaro. Jaro, no more Cypher yet again, but now pot shots against Pierre and Jaboobans. Galleon just stuck in the corner here at both sides for Nooney and Jaboobans to move in. Now Eternity and the rest of Laughing Coffins finally waking up here, not only securing a flawless, but now we're sitting at match point.
Yeah, Laughing Coffins, yikes. Eternity actually, like, finding his stride. I said Eternity might be a little bit stressed, but it looks like they've just found their groove again in the mid lurk. And if they want to win this, then they should have Eternity on that perma. Like, let Eternity work. Let Eternity play around. All, like, 2 chances to counter any sort of trip that Jaro might throw. This is really, really nice. But, why are... They're stuck, all of them, in tiles. And maybe Maison wants to figure this out. Once mid is seen to be empty, they have to know where they're going.
Exactly, just have to let them cook. Gotta be precise, but maybe Pierre should have been a little more precise in hearing, especially
trade.
just allowing Jaro to get them. Say good trade here, but it is the neural theft upload, but pop up. Might not even matter because Maison still has the Blade Storm active, and even with the location revealed, still able to get a good couple of kills before being taken down. Nooney, Eternity, Nooney once more, down and out, but of course, there's still a chance, about 9 seconds left to get a revive, but it might be too much of a risk, and it is not even put out. Forget revive into KO, that's gonna be a kill, and 13-9 to finish.